Good morning. This is Pastor Dale. I work at a shelter, a cold weather shelter in Frederick, Maryland. And one of the hardest things that I had to do since being on this job was last week was to turn a man away, um, telling him he couldn't stay here because he had been barred for some reason, and I couldn't let the man in. It was extremely windy out. It was below 32 degrees, and I was told that when I first was employed or first got this job, in the history of this particular shelter, that some years ago, apparently a man had froze to death in Annapolis, Maryland, and so the governor at that time, I believe it was Donald Schaefer, had sent out a mandate throughout the state saying that he never wanted this to happen again, and every city was to develop and to establish and build or put together shelter for the homeless in the winter, cold weather shelters, so that people would not freeze to death, and so people wouldn't die on the street because of hypothermia or whatever the um, cause may be due to cold weather. So I felt or considered it kind of ironic that here we are turning people away because the man apparently had come into the facility earlier that day and was a little intoxicated, and of course got a little loud. Um, but that's to be expected from some people who are intoxicated. Not everybody, but some. Um, but the man, by that time that 2:30 in the morning came around, he definitely had sobered up because it was extremely cold out and very windy. And this man looked at me in the eyes, and I had to tell him he couldn't come in. What I did do was grab him a blanket, a very warm blanket, and gave it to him, and uh, really wished him the best and prayed for him. The other reason I understand that he was told he couldn't stay here is because he's from out of county. But my question is, if cold weather shelters are to protect people, what difference does it make what county they're from? If they're in this county for 4 or 5 days and they need to stay, why can't they stay? No man, no woman, no child should ever be turned away from a cold weather shelter and from keeping warm. This was extremely disturbing to me. Um, it still bothers me to this day, and I had to go home and I had to actually pray about this and for God to give me some peace because I do not like to turn people away. Uh, I've been out in the cold. I know what it's like, and it's not nice when that wind is hitting against your face and going through your clothing. So I don't know whatever happened to this gentleman. I don't know if he ever came back or if he ever left town or what. But my prayers were definitely with him, and I pray that I never have to go through this again. So if anyone's watching this and you're an advocate for cold weather shelters, uh, please convince the people that run these things that like Jesus, we're not supposed to be partial to people. We're not supposed to show partiality to anybody. But at the same time, we're not to consider our residents more important than the residents from out of county. We don't know what this man's situation is or what was going on in his life at the time that may have even caused him to become intoxicated. But the thing is had Jesus been here, uh, I'm quite sure that he would have let the man in. I'm quite sure that he would have welcomed the man and insisted that the man become warm and have a place to sleep for the night. So things like that do bother me, and I pray that you never have to experience it, and I pray that I never have to experience it again. Possibility I will, but I pray that I don't. So pray for these people that are homeless and people that need a place to stay in the wintertime because we all know that the weather can be extremely cruel. So thanks for listening. God bless. Bye bye.